What's good, YouTube? It's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul, and welcome to another remake video. Today we'll be remaking Lil Uzi Vert's track Futsal, so let's get straight to it. I'm working off of a demo that Lil Uzi dropped, and it's been going viral across TikTok and all the social platforms. So I figured, you know what, let's get to that remake before this song blows up, which it already has, and it hasn't even been released. Anyways, first things first, let's go ahead and set our tempo to 137 beats per minute. And we're going to start off with that main sound that we hear throughout the entire record, or at least the bit that I've heard. We're going to bring up Logic's ES2 synthesizer. We're going to go ahead and use the default settings on this, but let's just go ahead and close that out for now, and we'll manipulate the sound in a bit. Let's just get that pattern down and ready to go. So let's go ahead and start off on the D right over here. Start from there. All right, let's move over to bar number 4. Just play this back so we get the groove. Dun, dun, dun. And we're gonna go back up to here. Dun. Make that a chord. All right, so there is the pattern right over there. We're going to drag this out to an 8-bar pattern because that's what this pattern is. It's pretty much the same thing for the beginning half, just the latter half changes up a bit. So that stays the same. We're going to go ahead and duplicate this up. And for this one over here, I'm going to change this note up. Put it like a chord. Actually, let's take that out. Just leave the top note there. We're going to push this up. And then this we're going to go dun dun dun. Then we're going to go dun dun dun. All right, so there's the pattern. Let's listen to it in its entirety. All right, now let's go ahead and open up Logic's ES2 synthesizer, and let's just adjust this sound. We are going to be using the default settings on this one. But for oscillator 1 and 2, we're going to change oscillator 1 to a square wave, oscillator 2 to a sine wave, oscillator 3 we're going to turn off, and just move this to like a 50-50 split. We're going to get some detuning in the sounds here. We're going to turn on unison. We're going to add in a little bit of distortion on the bright end. Sorry, I tried to talk too fast there. We're going to pull up our sine wave level all the way up. It's going to be a little bit distorted, but let's bring back the volume. Let's pull up the chorus just to bring in some softness to the sound. All right, next we're going to bring down our ADSR, and we're just going to slowly bring it in. We're going to pull up our decay. We just want like a pluck sound like that. Maybe we'll bring up the release a little bit. All right, so that sounds good like that. Next, let's go ahead and bring in an EQ. We're just gonna go ahead and filter out some of those lows. Something like that. Maybe we'll take out a little bit of the top end as well. All right, next let's go ahead and bring in delay just so it's not so plain sounding. We're going to go to delay, Logic's delay designer. And we're going to bring in a preset, simple. Let's use the 8th alternating pan. All right, we're going to use that right there. Next, let's go ahead and bring in some reverb. We're going to bring in Logic Space Designer, and we're going to bring in a preset I like to use, large space, warp space, gunshot. We're just going to bring down the wet value. All right, so there is our main sound right over there. Next, let's go ahead and create a new audio track. And we're going to go ahead and essentially create that, what I heard at the beginning there is like eternal take. It sounded like they literally just typed it into text edit in Apple and recorded the narration that the computer spits out. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. All right, so here we are in text edit over here. We're just going to go type in eternal take. And then we're going to go ahead and see what it spits out. Let's go to speech.
Eternal take.
Okay, let's just do that maybe.
Eternal take.
All right, so that sounds better, but the voice is not the one that we want to use.
Eternal take.
So to change the way, or to change the voice for the speech over there, we're going to go over to our Apple icon top left corner off my screen. But we're going to go to System Preferences. We are going to go to Accessibility. And then we're going to go ahead and go to Speech. And we're going to change the voice from Fred to Samantha. And it's going to sound like this.
Eternal take.
So now that we got that sound right there, I'm going to go ahead and record this and then come right back. All right, so we are back and went ahead and sampled that eternal take tag over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag that in. And it sounds like this.
Eternal take.
And now all we got to do is simply find where it's got to go, or at least try our best.
Eternal take. Eternal take. Eternal take.
All right, let's just put it right over there.
Eternal take.
Not sure if that's where it needs to go, but we're going to go with it. So to make it sound sort of like robotic, like the one in the track,
Eternal take.
we're going to go ahead and bring in a modulation effect flanger. And we're going to go to a preset here called Resonator Flange. And it sounds like this.
Eternal take.
And we get that robotic sound.
Eternal take.
And then next what we got to do here is
Eternal take.
chop it up where it needs to go.
Eternal take.
So I think I'm going to chop it up right over there. Let's go ahead and duplicate that. And then we're going to add a delay on this second part. So for the delay, we're going to go to bring in delay echo. And we're going to bring in delay.
Eternal take.
Let's change that to a fourth. And let's play around.
Eternal take.
So that sounds good. Let's just bring up the dry. Bring down the wet so it's not so prevalent.
Eternal take.
Bring back the feedback a bit.
Eternal take.
Okay, it's sounding good.
Eternal take.
Let's go ahead and just group those two tracks. Go to create track stack. And we're going to go ahead and put a reverb on this. Let's go to Logic Space Designer. And we're just going to use the default settings here.
Eternal take.
All right, that sounds good. It's going to bring in a little bit of the dry, or the original sound, that is. And let's pull down the wet.
Eternal take.
Maybe something like this.
Eternal take.
All right, so that sounds good like that. I'm just going to go ahead and bring this down in volume.
Eternal take. Eternal take. Eternal take.
All right, so that's our intro bit right over there.
Eternal take.
All right, so now we're going to go into the next sound. We're going to duplicate this sound over, but this gets dropped by a whole octave. So we're going to go ahead and Control All, Shift Option down arrow to bring it down one octave. Then we're going to go ahead and create a new software instrument track. And we're going to go ahead and, let's create a new audio track. Let's create a new software instrument track. And we're going to bring in Logic's ES2 synthesizer once again. We'll manipulate the sound in a bit, but let's just go ahead and draw in this pattern. It's a 4-bar pattern, just repeats itself. All right, let's go ahead and draw this in. So it's going to go something like this. Go to a higher octave. Let's stretch this one out. All right, then we're gonna go up. Let's copy this over. All right, then we're going to copy this over. All right, and then for the second half, it's going to go something like this. We're going to go up. Be higher pitched. Go up. And it goes something like that. All right, let's go ahead and just play that back over here. Stretch that over 8 bars. All right, so go ahead and open up the Logic's ES2. And I'm going to bring in a preset here. It's going off my screen, but it's under Synth Leads. And we're going to go ahead and bring in Euro Hook. And it's going to sound like this. And I'm not going to adjust anything really. I'm just going to adjust RADSR. And I want to get it to be that sort of that gated feel without adding any sort of gating effect. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull up our attack here. I'm going to pull up our decay. And maybe I'll pull up our release time a bit. So there is our gated synth right over there. Next, it's going to open up an EQ. And I'm just going to cut out some of the lows. I'm going to do like a soft cutoff here. And maybe I'll push up a little bit of our mids here. Sorry, our upper mids. All right, next let's go ahead and bring in some overdrive. We're gonna go ahead and go to distortion overdrive. I'm gonna go ahead and lower this up a little bit so it's not too loud. So I'm going to pull down the drive a little bit. Don't want to drive too hard. All right, so I'll do something like that. And then we're going to want to go ahead and just soften this up. So we're going to bring in Logic's chorus. And then we're just going to fill it up a bit by bringing in some delay. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Logic's delay, tape delay. And we're just going to leave it like that. And maybe we'll lower this up a little bit. All right, next let's go ahead and start bringing in some of the drums. We're going to create a new software instrument track. And we are going to bring in Logic's EXS24 sampler instrument and bring in that Futsal drum kit. And we're going to start off with the sort of the gunshots that you hear at the beginning of the record, or in this section over here. Let's go ahead and draw those in. Let's go ahead and just bring that down in volume. And maybe we'll add in some reverb as well. And why don't we bring in the gunshot preset here on the gunshot. All right, next let's go and duplicate this track over. We're going to take out the reverb. And let's go ahead and set this to mono because we're going to go ahead and draw in our 808s. Simple pattern, just repeats itself. And let's go ahead and draw that in. It's going to go something like this. Make this louder. And then it goes up an octave here. that just repeats itself like that. All right, so that's pretty much our intro bit right over there. Next, let's go ahead and copy everything over. We're gonna take out the the gunshot. And this over here is gonna go pitched back up, just like that. And then let's go ahead and duplicate this drum kit over here, and let's go ahead and draw in the clap. All right, so let's go ahead and put in our clap on the 3s. Duplicate that over the 8 bars. We're going to duplicate this track over here, and let's go ahead and draw in those hi-hats. Simple pattern once again. It's going to be something like this. If I can find where those are. There it is right there. And that's it. That's the pattern that just repeats, just like this. Let's go ahead and duplicate that over. Actually, I'm not going to copy that down, but I am going to go ahead and draw in a new pattern for the open hat, and it goes something like this. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this just like that. Actually, I think that is one too many. It's going to be something like that. All right, next we're going to duplicate this track. I'm going to recenter this sound, and let's go ahead and draw in our perk sound, and it goes something like this. Let's bring this sound back up. Going to go ahead and copy this over, something like that. And then at the end it goes like this. All right, so let's go ahead and just quickly arrange this, or at least what I've heard from the demo track and the songs that are going all over TikTok. It's going to go something like this. We're going to copy that over, copy this over. There's a little break, and then we're going to copy this over. I don't know if there's any more sounds in the track because I didn't hear the full record, but this is pretty much what I've heard. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Listen to the music we just put together, Lil Uzi Vert's track, Futsal. Let's go.
Eternal Attain.
Alright, so right there is Lil Uzi Vert's track Futsal Shuffle. That is the remake as it stands right now. If there is more stuff that adds to the beat, I will probably do an update to this one. But there it is right there. There you have it. For your Logic users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you guys. Place it as a downloadable link in the description box below this video. For your non-Logic users out there, got your back as well. I'm going to go ahead and export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this tutorial. You can find that playback also below this video. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat, let's go ahead and talk in the comment section below. And if you did like this video, remember thumbs up, share it, and of course hit that subscribe button for more good videos like this one. I'll talk to y'all soon. Later. Peace.